right, so in this video, I'm going to break down how to write and record a recruitment sales letter. This is debatably the most important part of the organic recruitment funnel. If you write a banging recruitment video sales letter, you're going to get recruits like so much, too much to even handle. You'll be able to recruit like 5 to 10 reps per month at least. And by writing it, you're going to inform a lot of your content and other marketing materials. So without further ado, let's get into how to actually make it. So you're going to start, actually just for context, I've learned all this from Nick Cosman, who's like the grandfather of the sales letter. He's worked with people like Ty Lopez, Sam Ovens, Grego Gallagher, and literally thousands of others. Like his like case study list is just insane. So everything I'm about to share is directly, for the most part, from him. And you can't, like, no one else is making these tutorials or these breakdowns. Like, this is behind 10K paywalls. So take notes here, grab some water, grab your notepad, and let's get into this. So you're going to start with a niche specific headline. This is the most important part of it. You're going to use a transformation driven headline that appeals to door-to-door reps' desire for money, freedom, and status. Depending on who you're actually trying to recruit and who you're trying to have sell for you, what their desires might be different. So you can use different templates. So like, how rep name earned 100K in 6 months knocking doors with zero sales experience. How to go from broke to 10K a month in 90 days with no degree. The thing you want to consider here is that the stages of market sophistication. So at the first stage, it's unsophisticated, it's unsaturated. You're able to make really big claims and not really share too much details, such as how to make 100K in 6 months as a 19-year-old. Even that might be a little extra. I would say door-to-door and door-to-door sales is probably around the third or even fourth layer of market sophistication. And at that point, you want to start detailing how to do that, like doing door-to-door and also the timeline included. At the final stage of market sophistication, it's the fifth level, and that's when you want to start identifying with the rep. And you can do some crazy headlines, such as Grego Gallagher's movie star physique or fuck me now physique. Those are all primal based on dating, and it's starting to identify with the person, with the prospect. And then once you have your headline, you're going to want to provide proof and framing evidence. So use real rep case studies, screenshots of commissions, Slack threads, leaderboards, payout history, etc. This is just a flash. You'll get into the case studies a bit deeper near the end of the sales letter, but this is just flashing and creating that status delta so that people are like, holy shit, this guy knows what he's talking about. Let me pay attention to the whole video. If you find people aren't watching the full video through or dropping off, it's probably because the proof and framing evidence isn't strong enough. So here's an example. Here's Jason's first 30 days with us. He got 18 signups, 11K earned, screenshot below, and then a quote as well. Who this is for. So after you drop the proof on them, you're going to call out who you're actually looking and who the video and sales letter is for. So you'll call out the type of door-to-door rep you're looking for. This is a little bit different for everyone. Speak to their motivation, fears, values. The more specific you can be, the better. So an example is, if you're tired of clocking in for $15 an hour, if you love the chase, thrive on competition, and want to be surrounded by killers, then this is for you. And this is an optional part, but after you share who this is for, you can share who this is not for. So you want to qualify the lazy, the not hungry, or the uncoachable. This isn't for you if you're allergic to rejection, expect a salary, or don't want to be pushed to your potential, as an example. The core concept is when you actually start introducing your argument or your thesis around your opportunity of going and knocking a summer, You don't want to get into the product or your service or basically the opportunity. You want to just share the thesis of why you're doing it. So it needs to be unique. It can include your team, systems, culture, the product. Probably not the product, but some examples is, but here's the secret. You can earn six figures in your 20s without a degree if you choose the right vehicle. The problem is most vehicles are built on online hype and are locked behind paywalls with no community or mentorship. We built the team and culture that gets you there fast. And basically you want to break the limiting beliefs that you have to make money online. You want to create the new beliefs that they're able to sell and make a lot of money doing door to door. But this can be way longer. All these examples that I provide you, they can be 10 times as long. But this next step, the activities and unique insights is going to be the longest part of your sales letter. But before we get into that, you want to share your credibility and your personal story. So make it real, make it raw, and aspirational. Example, I started in pest control knocking doors in 110 degrees Fahrenheit. No car, no clue. My first summer I banked 82K. Now I train 40 plus guys and built a 7-figure team. And I want to help others do the same faster. Yeah, and you'll want to make this obviously your story and longer. So just follow the hero arc where you go from you came across a problem, you couldn't get past it, and then something clicked and you solved the problem, and now you're living your prospect's dream life essentially. But the next stage is activities and unique insights. So this is where you want to provide value-based education. The goal of this is to provide so much value that they're like, holy fuck, if this is his free stuff, I wonder what happens if I spend my money, my time, my energy on him or her. But yeah, so you want to break down every unique insight following this framework. So you want to start off by comparing the new activities / methods versus the old ways. So each activity has an old way, old result, a new way, new result, a unique insight, proof, and a Q&A. And then these are like the actual activities and the methods, not like you need to work for my company because I do this and this and this, but instead, for example, the old way to collect signatures is to physically mail a piece of paper and collect their signatures. The new way is to just do it online, send an email, and collect them via DocuSign or something. The unique insight's probably the most important part. You want to make sure that it's useful, that it's somewhat contrarian, and that they haven't heard of it, but it's like true to you and it's actually useful and obviously unique. So you want to show the rep what they'll actually do and learn. This is, again, one of your longer sections. The more value you provide, the better. And then once you're done, you can do like 3 to 5 unique insights. And then within each unique insight, you can have sub-steps and sub-activities. But after that, you want to summarize the method. So you want to recap it because humans have short memories. Example, so in recap, all you need to do is show up to daily correlations, run the pitch in your assigned hood, close, collect, and cash your checks. And then you want to give them an option. You want to options close them. So position your offer by contrasting other opportunities versus this opportunity. Example, you could keep doing $18 hour jobs and hope for a raise, or you could train 10 days with us and start earning $3 to $5K a month by your second week. You could pay someone $5 to $10K to teach you how to start e-com, SMMA, or an AI agency and pray you land a client, or you can join us in person, train for a couple of weeks and start clearing $5 to $10K a month. And I would add learning skills that if you do decide to go into one of these, you'll be able to hit the ground running because you have the necessary skills. And then you want to reiterate who this is for. So you want to give more proof and reassurance, repeat who you're speaking to. Again, this is for hungry, competitive individuals who want fast income and are ready to grow fast. and then get deep into the case studies. So share some full-blown stories following this structure. So the person, the before state, the after state, the time frame, a quote, and visual proof. So here's an example. This is Daniel. When we met when we were 18, driving Uber, felt like he didn't know what to do with his life. I told him about the opportunity and he decided to give it a try. 6 months later, he made 83K. Quote, this opportunity changed my life. I was broke. Now I'm genuinely living the life of my dreams. And the quote can also be a video. You just link it and then they can press it if they're viewing the document, or in your video, you can just edit it in. Benefits and outcomes. So this is the actual tangible ROI and what they get when they work with you or decide to go knock for a summer. So speak to the end results and the emotional payoff. Example, here's what happens when you join. You'll make more in a month than most do in a quarter. You'll gain confidence, skills, and reps. You'll build a winning circle of sales assassins. And then the features/tools. So this is the features of what makes your opportunity unique. So an example is daily coaching. The benefit is that you skill up 3 times faster. You can also contrast it with how you don't get daily coaching in an online course, because at the end of the day, that's basically who you're competing against. You're competing against other opportunities speaking to the same target market who are providing a make money offer. And so I think, from firsthand experience, door-to-door provided so much more value at the stage I was in back then than any course could have. So another example of features and tools is full training modules. The benefit is that you'll hit the doors running as soon as you join. Leaderboards, so this is gamified motivation. If you're competitive, you'll thrive on it. Fast pay, whatever your payouts are like, whatever the schedule. I would say you could even say fast pay if your payouts are monthly. Year-end trip, so a week-long vacation for if you're a top performer. Commission structure, gamified commission brackets, so as you hit more sales, you make more money. And all of these things I would suggest you incorporate into your operations or your organization, depending on if you have the decision-making power and you're not already doing this. Then you're going to finalize, coming to the end, you're going to give the offer and a call to action. Make joining feel like a high-status opportunity. Example, here's what you get. Proven script, daily training, zip code, strategy, one-on-one mentorship, community, etc., all for $0. You just bring hustle. Now, when you book your call, we split the interview process into 2 to 3 calls where you'll speak to each of your managers. The first call will cover XYZ, the second call ABC, etc. The reason why we want to split the interview process is because it makes your opportunities seem more legit, as well as you can get a better idea on if they're fit. If you're paying for their housing, you don't want people who are unqualified, who aren't going to work hard. So that's a good way to filter it out. And if you're new, if you only have 10 to 20 reps so right now, this makes it seem more like a culture. They'll get a better idea of who you guys are, and it'll just seem way more legit. After the call to action is the scarcity, bonuses, and risk reversal. So this is where you add urgency and make it risk-free. Example, we only onboard 10 new reps per month. We train them hard and don't accept just anyone. We're starting the season on X date, and we only need 10 more reps. So not all of us have the luxury of having an in-season and an off-season. I know some guys are just hiring constantly. If you're able to, work with us and we'll solve that for you. But if you want to do it all yourself, definitely create some arbitrary date when you onboard people, whether that's the first of every month and they got to go through the first month, or if it's an actual season, like the start of May till the end of August, for example. Yeah. And if we hire you, we'll pay for your flight here and we'll pay your rent. The reason why this is good is obviously it makes less of a risk for them. It also makes it seem more high status, more legit. After the scarcity, bonuses, and risk reversal, you'll do some Q&A and some objection handling. So this is where you'll tackle common objections surrounding door-to-door opportunities as a whole. I've seen this go on for hours. If you have a ton of experience, you've interviewed a lot of reps, then you'll probably have a lot of objections and a lot of questions that you get asked. So feel free to make this as long as you want. You'll definitely have some drop off depending on how you're promoting and how you're running the actual traffic to this video sales letter. But yeah, feel free to make these as long as you want. And then you're going to want to drive traffic to the VSL. So once you've written it out and you've proofread it multiple times, definitely have your co-founder or a sales manager read through it and give you feedback, then update it based on the feedback. If you're a partner of ours, we'll help you write it and then give you feedback on everything you've written. And once it's like relatively put together and it's almost ready to go, you want to test the headline. This is really the only time you need to A/B test. You don't really need to A/B test ads or the video once it's done, but the headline is the most important part. Just as in short form content, the hook is the most important part. So you're going to want to test it by putting it on X and your Instagram story with a CTA, something along the lines of DM for early access. Here's an example. If your sales rep got a light read for you, how to earn 30% revenue share and become irreplaceable, prelude to the main CGO document, DM to gain access. So if no one is DMing you, you got to change the headline and then test it again, basically running a similar thing. Once the headline is confirmed and a lot of people are DMing you, download Loom and record yourself walking through it, just like I am right now. And then you can send it to an editor to have them spruce it up a bit and cut out the ums and ahs, or just keep it raw and unedited. I usually do this since there isn't typically too much to edit out, since I did all the work in the writing to begin with. And yeah, all I'm doing is reading it out. When it's ready, start by publishing it to YouTube. All your past and future videos will have this video linked in the bio and pop up on the end screen. This is exactly what Iman Gadzi does. If your appointment setting process is dialed, we'll get into this later. So yeah, this is the sales letter I'm writing. It's going to be really fucking valuable. Keep an eye out. I'm going to be posting it on my Instagram story, my X, and as well as YouTube. But you can make it an unlisted video and then send it to reps who are in your DMs or your network. And then this makes it seem more of like a free training and more high status and like more exclusive and scarce. So that's a good strategy that I've seen work. But more often than not, if you have a personal brand or you're actively growing your personal brand, I recommend just posting it on YouTube publicly. And you can see here, this is Iman's YouTube funnel. So every single video, he's linked his sales letter. Make money online in 2025. Make money online in 2025. And then at the end of each video, he'll have that video linked at the end. And this just drives so much traffic. He got 2 million views. When I made this, he has 2 million views on it. I'm sure he has even more now. And then in the description of the VSL or the recruitment VSL, this is where you put the link where you'll collect the prospect info and have them book a call. The easiest way to do this is just with Calendly. You can also use Google Calendar. Later, once the sales letter is proven and you're getting a lot of reps in, you're getting a lot of calls to book, you can actually make a landing page, but not super needed unless you have like 20K followers and you have a budget for ads and all that other stuff. But after your VSL is posted, you've confirmed the headline, promote it on your IG story following the previously mentioned story sequence template. I'll make another YouTube video on that specifically, so I'll link it. Go watch that. But yeah, after it's posted, you'll want to review the analytics. And if no one is pressing the link and watching it in the first place, it's probably because the headline isn't good or the thumbnail. In YouTube, you can actually split test thumbnails. I recommend doing that. A general good practice of thumbnails is keeping it super simple and keeping in mind that people will see it on their phone, on their laptop, on their TV, so making sure that it looks good on all those different screens. Yeah, and test these headlines. Like, I can't emphasize it enough. The headline is the most important part. You can test it on Instagram, LinkedIn, X, etc. And whichever does perform the best, use that in your YouTube title. If people are pressing the link but the watch time is below 5%, it's because you didn't hook their attention and create enough status delta when you're providing that proof flash. So reiterate the sales letter and improve it. But yeah, that is how you write and record a recruitment video sales letter. I hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, subscribe and like and share it.